Cooperative play. Fix an issue or
What?
Progression.
What?
So welcome to the new Diablo patch notes. This is the patch notes for build 1.1.1. Miscellaneous. Fixed an issue where the reins of the bloody steed would reappear in the stable master's menu after it was already... Oh, finally! Because remember I said it was like, it didn't make sense why the mount, the PvP mount, would still appear as you can purchase it again. Okay, I'm glad that they fixed that. Oh. So welcome to the new Diablo patch notes. This is the patch notes for build 1.1.1. Build number 43794 for all platforms. The August 8th update. Let's get to it. Okay, class balance updates. Hello, Wanderer. Welcome to patch 1.1.1. Did I even say that right? I don't know. We made quite a few balance adjustments to the classes. Our goals with this patch are as follows. We want to improve the effectiveness of sorcerers and barbarians while addressing the following for each class. Sorcerer, improve late game survivability, mostly through Paragon board improvements. Adjust some class mechanics to move away from curse effects. This is where the player gains power but loses power somewhere else. Barbarian, speed up the flow of combat in the early game by increasing fury generation on basic skills. Add late game excitement by increasing the power of unique items. Strengthen builds that are reaching a high power level. Diversify the use cases for legendary items and other effects that are overly situational. Okay. The Barbarian. Skills. Bash, Fury gained increased from 11 to 13. Flay, Fury gained increased from 10 to 13. Enhanced Frenzy, Fury gained increased from 2 to 3. Lunging Strike, Fury gained increased from 10 to 12. Double Swing, damage increased from 40% to 50%. Enhanced Rupture, damage increased from 45 to 70%. Enhanced Charge, damage increased from 30 to 60%. Mighty Charge, vulnerable duration increased from 2 to 4 seconds. Violent Upheaval, if upheaval damages at least 2 enemies or a boss, you gain Berserking for 2 seconds. Increased to 3 seconds if it damages at least 4 enemies. The passives. Aggressive Resistance. Damage reduction increased from 3% to 4%. Gushing Wounds. Bleed damage dealt based on critical damage bonus increased from 100% to 115%. Bleed damage when overpowering increased from 11% to 70%. Holy crap. From 11% to 70%, that is a massive boost. Unconstrained. Berserking damage bonus increased from 25 to 35%. Updated the tooltip to more clearly reflect this key passive's value. Walking Arsenal. Bonus damage duration increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Sounds good, Draconis. Legendaries. Aspect of Ancestral Force. Damage increased from 32 to 50% to 40 to 58%. Death Wish Aspect. Thorns increased from, Aspect of Unrelenting Fury. Core skill cost refund increased from 10 to 20% to 20 to 30%. Additional functionality. Cost refund also granted when hitting bosses. Aspect of Ancestral Charge. Damage increased from 50 to 100% to 75 to 125%. Aspect of Burning Rage. Damage increased from, Aspect of Volcathos. Damage reduction while in Earthquake increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. Earthquake aspect damage bonus in earthquakes increased from 5 to 15% to 15 to 25%. The uniques. Field of Crimson. Damage increased from... Damage that enemies take standing in pools increased from 15 to 20%. Rupture cooldown reduction affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Hellhammer. Damage increased from this. Burning duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. Damage to crowd control enemies affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. Ramaladni's Magnum Opus. Physical damage affix replaced with vulnerable damage. 100,000 steps. Attacks reduce evades cooldown affix replaced with bonus evade charges. Damage against stunned affix replaced with bonus movement speed. Battle trance. Basic skill damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction. Bonus attack speed to other skills increased from 10 to 20% to 30 to 35 to 45%. Damage increase from... I'm not reading these numbers, these little guys. This is weird. Okay, Rogue. Wait, sorry. Rogue. Skills. Fundamental Invigorating Strike. Energy threshold increased from 50% to 75%. Primary Forceful Arrow. Every third cast pierces enemies. Enhanced Caltrops. Damage bonus increased from 3% to 5%. Poison Trap. Damage increased from 344% to 396%. Supreme Rain of Arrows. Rain of Arrows first wave knocks down enemies for 3 seconds. Passive. Victimize. Lucky hit chance increased from 35 to 45%. Rugged. Damage reduction against damage over time effects increased from 6-12 to 18% to a 9-18 27%. Siphoning Strikes. Lucky hit chance increased from 75% to an 85%. Legendaries. Aspect of Elusive Menace. No longer requires hits to be from close enemies. Aspect of Quickening Fog. You automatically drop a smoke grenade at the end of a dash. Smoke grenades reduce dash's cooldown by 0.4 to 0.6 seconds per target hit, up to a 2 to 3 seconds. Unique. The Wind Force. All stats affixed replaced with vulnerable damage. The Word of Hakan. Ultimate damage affixed replaced with cooldown reduction. The Druid. Skills. Earth Spike. Spirit Gain increased from 11 to 13. Claw. Spirit Gain increased from 11 to 12. Storm Strike. Spirit Gain increased from 14 to 15. Wind Shear. Spirit Gain increased from 13 to 14. Maul. Spirit Gain increased from 15 to 17. The Wolves. Passive damage increased from 7.8% to an 11%. Active damage increased from 110% to 135%. Enhanced Wolfpack. Damage bonus increased from 20 to 25%. Brutal Wolfpack. Attack speed bonus increased from 20 to 25%. Ferocious Wolfpack. Fortify amount increased from 5 to 8%. Ravens. Passive damage increased from 13 to 20%. Brutal Ravens. Additional functionality. Increase the passive damage of Ravens by 40%. Rabies. Damage over time increased from 76% to 110%. Paragon. Lightning Resilience Rare Node. Maximum life bonus increased from 4% to 6%. Legendaries. Aspect of Metamorphic Stone. Spirit cost reduced from 60 to 50. Damage dealt increased from 80 to 100% to 100 to 120%. Aspect of the Alpha. Damage increased from 75 to 100% to a 90 to 115%. Mangled Aspect. Resource gain increased from 1 to 3. Class Mechanic. Overload. Lucky hit chance increased from a 20% to a 40%. Right? The Sork. Skills. Flickering Firebolt. Firebolt generates 2 mana when hitting an enemy. Enhanced Fireball. Casting Fireball increases its radius by 50%. Destructive Fireball. Fireball's critical strike damage is increased by 20%. This bonus is increased to 30% if Fireball hits at least 3 enemies. Greater Chain Lightning. Each time Chain Lightning bounces, it deals 5% increased damage for its duration. Destructive Chain Lightning. Chance to form crackling energy increased from 25 to 30%. Passives. Ver's Mastery. Damage bonus increased from 10% to 15%. Esu's Ferocity. Additional functionality. Both bonuses are also granted for 3 seconds when hitting a boss with a critical strike. Combustion. Your burning effects deal times 20% increased damage, plus an additional times 2% increased damage per unique source of burning you have applied to the enemy. Paragon. Searing Heat Legendary Node. Casting Fireball or Meteor increases your critical strike chance by 5% for 5 seconds, up to a 15%. Ceaseless Conduit Legendary Node. Increase crackling energies damage from 2% to 3% per 20 intelligence the player has. Reinforce Rare Glyph. Damage reduction increased from 10% to 15%. Territorial Rare Glyph. Damage reduction increased from 10% to 15%. Warding Rare Glyph. Damage reduction increased from 13 to 25%. Keeper of the Flames Rare Node. Damage reduction increased from 4% to 5%. Bonus damage reduction increased from 4% to 5%. Smoldering Embers Rare Node. Damage reduction from burning enemies increased from 4% to 5%. Bonus damage reduction from burning enemies increased from 4% to 5%. Guarded Rare Node. Damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4% to 5%. Bonus damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4% to 5%. Oppressive Rare Node. Damage reduction from vulnerable enemies increased from 4% to 5%. Lightning Resilience Rare Node. Maximum life bonus increased from 4% to 6%. Legendaries. Serpentine Aspect. You may have 1 additional Hydra active, and Hydra's duration is increased by 14 to 24%. This now also affects Hydra's enchantment effect. Aspect of Conflagration. Bonus burning damage increased from 20 to 30% to a 20 to 40%. Aspect of engulfing flames. Bonus burning damage increased from 30 to 40% to a 60 to 80%. Holy crap. Aspect of the three curses. Increases the critical strike damage of meteor and fireball by 20 to 40%. Double this bonus against healthy enemies. Flamewalker's aspect. Bonus movement speed duration increased from 4 to 6 seconds. Gravitational aspect. Ball lightning orbits around you and deals 15 to 25% increased damage. Aspect of the unbroken tether. Additional chain lightning bounces increase from 2 to 4. Recharging aspect. Each time chain lightning bounces, you gain 1.5 to 3 mana. Charge aspect. Bonus movement speed duration increased from 4 to 8 seconds. Aspect of the bounding conduit. Bonus movement speed increased from 20 to 25% to a 25 to 30%. New legendary Mage Lord's aspect. Increases Ver's mastery key passive damage reduction by 6 to 9% for each close enemy up to an 18 to 27%. Aspect of Frozen Orbit. Damage increased from 20 to 30% to a 30 to 40%. Storm Swell aspect. Bonus damage increased from 11 to 20% to a 25 to 30%. Snowveil aspect. Unstoppable duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds to a 3 to 5 seconds. Additional functionality. Also grants 10% bonus armor for 3 to 5 seconds. Incendiary aspect. Lucky hit. Damage from your pyromancy skills has up to a 12 to 70% chance to restore 10 mana. Snow Guard's aspect. While within your own blizzard for 3 seconds after leaving it, you take 20 to 25% less damage. Aspect of concentration. Mana regeneration increased from 20 to 30% to 40 to 50%. Duration requirements to gain its benefit reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. The uniques. Gloves of the Illuminator. Damage penalty reduced from 65 to 55% to a 45 to 35%. Damage is stunned to fix replaced with lucky hit. Change to restore resource. Change? Oh, I think this is supposed to be chance to restore resources. Illuminator's first bounce occurs much closer to the player. I want my Slurk. Necromancer. Sorry. Skills. Enhanced Bone Spirit. Cooldown reduction increased from 6 to 7 seconds. Paragon. Wither Legendary Board. Willpower requirement for bonuses reduced from 50 to 40. Bonus damage per 40 willpower increased from 2.5 to 4%. Legendaries. Aspect of Empowering Reaper. Damaging enemies with Sever has a 10 to 20% chance to spawn a pool of blight under the target that deals 20 to 60% bonus damage. This effect can only happen once every 3 seconds. Aspect of Exposed Flesh. Lucky hit. Up to a 10% chance to generate 30 to 50 essence when hitting a vulnerable enemy. Aspect of Decay. Damage increased from 20 to 40% to a 25 to 45%. Aspect of Torment. Essence regeneration increased from 20 to 30% to a 90 to 170%. Hulking aspect. Legendary category change from resource to utility. Chance for Golem to reduce its cooldown increased from 1 to 4% to a 2 to 5%. Chance for the Golem to spawn a corpse increased from 0.5 to 2% to a 1 to 2.5%. Uniques. Greaves of the Empty Tomb. Intelligent affix replaced with movement speed. Minions. The following attacks now deal reduced damage to Druid companions and Necromancer minions. Balrog, Fire Breath. Elite affixes Fire Enchanted, Electrified Obelisks, and Shock Lance. Gameplay updates. Monster density. We are increasing monster density in Nightmare Dungeons and in Helltide. Bosses above level 60 will have more health. Examples. Bosses at level 60 and below remain unchanged. Bosses at level 80 have a 50% increased health. Bosses at level 100 have 100% increased health. Bosses at level 120 have 120% increased health. Bosses at level 150 and above have 150% increased health. Bosses and events. Developers know we are making adjustments to the health values of high-level boss monsters. Level 35 and higher boss monsters will now have a 100% chance to drop a legendary item. Treasure goblins now have an increased legendary item drop chance from level 6 to 14. And guaranteed a legendary item drop starting at level 15. Legion events are now more rewarding and guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 35. I had to ask last night if Necros had a regen or if it worked like Rage. Oh, okay. General, we have made multiple improvements on how damage and other effects interact with active barriers. Bonus damage or bonus effects that are applied on hit or when dealing damage will now apply that same effect through barriers. Example, the Exploit Paragon Glyph will now apply vulnerable to enemies that have an active barrier. Cheat death effects will now work properly when the player has an active barrier. This also affects PvP play. Varshan will now break through any bone wall segments he dashes through. The cost for refunding skill and Paragon points have been reduced. The reduction starts small at lower levels and hits a maximum of 40% at level 100. Example, level 50, 12%, level 60, 18%, level 70, 24%, level 80, 30%. We've also increased the stack limit for elixirs from 20 to 99. Oh my god, yes. An additional stash tab can now be purchased at the stash with gold. We have restored the cast time to leave dungeons back to 3 seconds. Woohoo! Developers note, Leave Dungeon ability was being used as another method of easy escape from danger in dungeons, particularly for hardcore players. However, we recognize that this is outweighed by the downside of the game feeling less responsive. We've heard your feedback and are reversing the change. Malignant Hearts. Caged Heart of Spellbreaking. Changed to, upon taking elemental damage, gain 10 to 20% damage reduction for 5 seconds. Generic unique items. Temerity. Plus all stats affixed replaced with maximum life. Barrier is now based on maximum life. Now properly accounted by conditions checking for the player having a barrier. Bug fixes. Accessibility. Screen reader support for reading class icons have been added. Fixed an issue where the screen reader wouldn't read out capitalized accented letters or special characters. Cooperative play. Fixed an issue where progression in the final straw quest could be blocked during co-op play. Fixed an issue where only the first player could activate points of interest during co-op play. I can't read that. Fixed an issue where using a town portal while attempting to enter a dungeon would cause both players to get stuck during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where follower NPCs could not function properly in scenarios where players were mounted during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where the quest progress tracker of other players wouldn't display properly in certain situations during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where the season info would not properly display when player 2 created a new character during local co-op play. Fixed an issue where a player engaged in conversation with an NPC would see a black screen if another player in their party teleported away. Dungeons. Fixed an issue where progression in the Seaside Descent dungeon could be blocked when the Butcher or Treasure Goblin spawned behind the barrier. Ooh, okay. Fixed an issue where the Determination and Malignant Power wouldn't function against the Resource Burn affix for Nightmare Dungeons. Fixed an issue where the Resource Burn affix for Nightmare Dungeons was applying from close enemies and not just distant enemies. Fixed an issue where the boss in the Den of the Blighted could be damaged through the fog wall. Critters. Non-combative creatures in Nightmare Dungeons with a Death Pulse affix will no longer explode on death. This explosion was never dealing damage. Fixed an issue where players could leave their party after dying in a Nightmare Dungeon, re-enter their party, and then re-enter the dungeon and not have the revives count towards the dungeon's revive cap. Oh! Fixed an issue where Animus carriers killed before the Animus objective was triggered would not drop Animus, blocking dungeon progression. Fixed an issue where the reset dungeon button often malfunctioned. Fixed an issue where Keeper Xorlim sometimes would not drop Garen's key in the Garen Hold Nightmare Dungeon. Okay. Gameplay. Barbarian. Fixed an issue where Charge didn't carry all enemies hit along with the Barbarian. Fixed an issue where Lunging Strike would cause the player character to get stuck under the ground. Fixed an issue where the bonus critical strike chance granted by the Focused Rage Malignant Power could be consumed by non-combat skills. Fixed an issue where the aspect of Berserk Ripping wouldn't cause targets to bleed when berserking. The Druid. The tooltip for the Moonrage Malignant Power now also communicates the power's additional luck hit chance of spawning a wolf when damaging a boss. This tooltip is now properly communicates that it grants +3 ranks to wolves. Fixed an issue where Call of the Wild and Aspect of the Stampede were not properly affecting the passive portions of companion skills and the active portion of wolves. The Necromancer. Fixed an issue that caused more blood orbs than intended to be active at the same time. Blood orbs now function like crackling energy in that they cap at 30. Fixed an issue where guaranteed overpower attacks from the Rathma's Vigor Key passive were not benefiting from the Paragon legendary node Bloodbath. Fixed an issue where the automatic corpse explosion cast from the Sacrilegious Malignant Power could ignore the damage reducing effect from the power than when using unenhanced corpse explosion. Fixed an issue where the untimely death aspect only increased overpower damage on the blood lance that was cast and not other lanced targets. Fixed an issue where when the Decrepit Aura Malignant Power was equipped twice, the power with the lowest number of near enemies required to activate was not the one that would trigger. Fixed an issue where shields held by the Necromancer would cover their face in loading screens. Fixed an issue where the Necromancer's imperfect perfectly balanced passive could only have 1 point allocated to it. Fix an issue where the Decrepit or a Malignant Power wouldn't trigger when mounted. The Rogue. Fix an issue where Poison Track could be infinitely cast without spending energy by using the Concealment skill near zone transition areas. Fix an issue where the Shadow Clone's taunt effect from the Trickery Malignant Power could taunt other players in PvP, and the taunt was not breakable by unstoppable effects. The Sorcerer. Fixed an issue where the Elemental Dominance passive didn't function correctly when using core and mastery skills that dealt damage over time. Example, a meteor cast at above 50 mana that would take you under 50 mana would not get the full damage bonus. Fix an issue where the Omni Power, Malignant Power wouldn't properly consume additional mana, which would then not trigger other interactions with additional resource consumptions. Example, the damage reduction from the Mana Shield passive. Fix an issue where the Omni Power, Malignant Power was inconsistently launching the appropriate number of projectiles. In addition, the tooltip has been updated to better describe the power. Developer note, the previous tooltip was a bit misleading as it did not consume the entirety of your mana pool. It will consume as much as it can depending on the number of rolled on the affix. Fix an issue where the effects from the Dark Dance Malignant Power would reset the align the elements passive. Fix an issue where the random location teleport effects from the Oculus would cause players to get stuck underground. General. Fix an issue where the speed increase from the Spur skill while mounted was slower on control than keyboard and mouse. Fix an issue where invasion portals spawned during certain Helltide events could be pushed off screen with fear effects. Fix an issue where Paragon rare nodes would sometimes not provide bonuses with stat boosting gear. Fix an issue where continuously enchanting an item could result in having the same stat show repeatedly in subsequent rerolls. Fix an issue where post-death damaging effects ignore the damage reduction from stats of close or distant enemies. Fix an issue where mounting your steed while moving would behave erratically when playing on console. Monsters. Fix an issue where elite enemies with the teleporter fix could teleport from off-screen and deal excessive damage. Fix an issue where Tusk Charger enemies could still damage the player after dying. Fix an issue where the corpse spawn enemy wouldn't attack the player. Fix an issue where the Manjub monster was more difficult to defeat than intended. Quests. Fix an issue where progression would be blocked during the Reject the Mother quest if the player left the game and came back. Fix an issue where the quest objectives could be missed while mounted during the Desperate Remedies quest. Fix an issue where the Fury Against Fate quest could have its progression blocked. Oh, finally, that means I can get this quest done. Fix an issue where the quest tracker pin would not be visible outside of the zone where the Runes of Faith quest was located. Fix an issue where the gore-soaked barricade could become indestructible after exiting and returning to the cellar during the Fury Against Fate quest. Oh, finally. Fix an issue where players could repeatedly fight Varshan during the final seasonal quest by resetting the dungeon where he spawns. Season of the Malignant. Fix an issue where the Prudent Heart Malignant Power would not trigger while mounted. Fix an issue where the Dark Dance Malignant Power could behave as if the player was damaging themselves, which could apply other effects that occur when the player deals damage. Fix an issue where the Invoker of Varshan recipe could be lost. For any player that lost a recipe, it can be acquired from any Malignant kill after the seasonal questline has been completed. Fix an issue where the Barber Malignant Power would absorb damage from all other players and not just the player with it equipped. Fix an issue where the Urn of Bargaining Season Blessing was increasing the enchant cost for items. Fix an issue where the Dark Dance Malignant Heart could kill the player. It will no longer consume life if the player does not have enough life to pay. Shop and Battle Pass. Fix an issue where the Arise emote's visual effects wouldn't appear when playing on low graphical settings. Fix an issue where the Dagger Tap emote for Rogue from the Battle Pass would lock player movement for its duration. Fix an issue where the Female Necromancer animation for the Cage Puppetry emote and had visual errors in the preview. Fix an issue where the Phantasm Walker cosmetic set had multiple visual errors, such as clipping. Your trolling has been nerfed. The UI. Fix an issue where text was missing when speaking to Crest during the Tangled Memories quest. Fix an issue where the subtitles during the Light Extinguish quest were out of sync with the voice dialogue. Fix an issue where the tooltip would show the wrong name for Wrathful Malignant Hearts when equipping 2 rings with the heart socketed in it. Fix multiple issues with text description inconsistency in shop bundles. Fix an issue where the Scroll of Amnesia tooltip referenced stat points instead of Paragon points. Fix an issue where the tooltips for the social and miscellaneous tabs in the action wheel were mismatched. Fix an issue where the tooltip for Battle Pass emotes would erroneously describe the emotes as shop emotes instead of seasonal emotes. Fix an issue where the Koldaran Aegis display as supporting all classes even though not all classes can use the shields. Fix an issue where the timer for Whispers could display incorrectly. Fix an issue where the Stele of Velkova and Hero Overwhelmed headstones were missing names in the wardrobe. Fix multiple localization issues. Fix an issue where the button highlights for controller would disappear after dismissing the Buy More Platinum prompt while navigating the Battle Pass menu. Fix an issue where the hero list could not be reordered. Fix an issue where the player's displayed death marker on the minimap was inaccurate compared to where their corpse was. Oh my god, they're finally fixing it. Fix an issue where the quest markers would display incorrectly if the player left the area and returned during the answers in the Ashes quest. Fix an issue where mount armor and trophies wouldn't update when selecting other mounts in the stable vendor menu. Fix an issue where the controller button highlights could disappear in the stable master's menu. Fix an issue where the battle pass interface would not properly navigate to the appropriate tier after tier skipping. Fix an issue where the die email from the battle pass displayed its name incorrectly. Miscellaneous. Fix an issue where the reins of the bloody steed would reappear in the stable master's menu after it was already acquired. Oh, finally! Because remember I said it was like it didn't make sense why the PvP mount would still appear as you can purchase it again. So that wasn't supposed to be there. Okay, I'm glad that they fixed that. Fix an issue where opening multiple clan profile windows would cause a crash. Fix an issue where a certain necromancer hairstyle would intersect the character's neck in cutscenes. Fix an issue where audio from Corman could be heard even if the player was far away from him during the enter the forest clearing quest step. Fix an issue where the weather effect and map color change to denote Helltide would persist after Helltide ended. Oh my god, they're finally fixing that. Fix an issue where skipping the initial cutscene after creating a new character could cause a crash. And fix an issue where the bloody liquid steed was not always rewarded after defeating the Echo of Lilith. Ooh. Various other visual stability and performance improvements for all platforms. Ooh. So I think overall, these are some pretty good changes. I'm excited for it. So this update will be coming out officially on August 8th. So next week, all of this stuff will be live. Sorry, I'm just trying to go back to the top here. August 8th. That would be tragic, actually, not getting the mount after killing Lilith. Oh my god. But yeah, I am super hyped for this.